Thanks for joining us, and let's get started.
Welcome to our intermediate series on secrets of success, rich, and happy. This episode will talk about big, hairy, audacious goals. We'll address topics like you have the potential and power to set BHAGs and the confidence loop and maintaining balance while going for the gold. As usual, we'll introduce you to your personal challenge, which is designed to get you in the habit of practicing things that are healthy for the new you. Ready? Awesome, let's get started. With that, we invite you to get settled in a place where you can digest this information without interruption or struggle, clear your mind, and get ready to take the next step in a vital transformation. Let's start with a brief moment of silence to focus and meditate on what you're about to learn, receive, and practice.
And welcome to our session. We call this session BHAG, which stands usually for Big Happy Audacious Goal. We would like to change the name to Big Happy Audacious Goal. And I tell you why. You know, the purpose of life of every normal human being eventually is to become happy in at least few areas. Your relationship, your money, and of course your well-being, whatever it is, physical well-being or your soul well-being. And the idea is that step by step, you will set yourself to a goal of growth in all area. If it's in money area or business area, you gotta do better. You gotta do better. And it not depends on others. That's what's beautiful about that. What's beautiful about understanding that it's up to you to be successful or not. It doesn't matter whatever will come in front of you, because whatever comes in front of you, it's almost like a wave. You either can ride on it as a surfer, or it might disturb you. It's up to you. The same thing with relationship. What type of your relationship are you involved? So when we're talking about big, happy, audacious goal, meaning looking into the goals to be like giant goal. Everything, set yourself like a goal that you drive yourself toward that goal and make it, because you can make it. And then if it's for your well-being or for your physical well-being, also think about it. What is that you gotta do, or what you should be doing and now to achieve big, happy, audacious goal? We said big, happy. Don't forget that, okay? Big, happy, not small, big. That you will be happy no matter what happens around you. You keep pushing, you keep wanting. When we talk about setting up some goals, now you can fall into what we call confidence. Now, it's not a problem to feel confidence, as we explained before. It's great, but sometimes confidence puts you to sleep. You're no longer raising your desire. And the idea is to find some balance between wanting more all the time to appreciating what you already have. Those two type of energy has names. In the old ancient wisdom of the Kabbalistic knowledge, they call it inner light versus surrounding light. The inner light is what you already accomplished, versus your surrounding light is your potential. Now, when you feel pressure, that means it's time to move forward, time to grow. A lot of people are looking, how can I stop the pressure and the stress in my life? You know what you're actually saying? I don't want to grow anymore. I don't want to be more happy than I am now. I don't want to win again. I don't want to be as rich as I'm supposed to be in the future. You're killing your future because your surrounding light has to do with your future. The inner light has to do with the now. Yes, it's good, celebrate the now, but hey, don't you see that your happiness is much greater than right now? For that reason, there is something called pressure. Try to imagine that example like that, okay? Be with me for a second. If I want to give you, let's say, much more that you can handle, what is it you're supposed to be doing? So let's imagine a vessel, container, but the container is not big enough to what I want to share with you. I want to give you more than what your container can contain. You don't have room for that. So what's going to happen? I'm going to pour all this abundance into that little container of yours, which we call it inner light, and then that container will explode and everything going to go away. So what is that you're going to do? You got to grow up. You got to make sure that that container growing up. You got to make sure that you're stretching. You got to stretch yourself to become much bigger for that abundance to come into your life. More happiness, more money, more joy. Everything got to be more, more, more. Now, the idea is, of course, you're asking the question, what am I supposed to be doing? Let's start with what you're not supposed to be doing. You can settle down with the idea that whatever you did till now, it's enough. There is no such a thing as a comfort zone that you're just sitting there and say, well, I did it. It's beautiful. Now let me relax. Did you know that the studies show that people who work in business and quit at a certain age, whatever it is, 65, 68, or 70, or more than that, they get sick. They get actually sick, physically sick. Nobody knows why. Nobody can explain why. Basically, they no longer have a drive. When they no longer have a drive, they become depressed. When they become depressed, eventually the body gets sick as well. Ask yourself that question. Are you really trying to grow every day the same way before you achieve the goal that you meant to be achieving? Was your goal the end zone? Ask yourself that. And it's not just with money. Think about relationship. How is the relationship with another individual look like when you want to end something? Is the relationship that you're busy with the end of the relationship look different than if you begin the relationship? The beginning of relationship look different when you start thinking about it, how is this going to end? Because you're busy with the end, you're busy with the end result. And that's, my friend, called inner light, which means inner, it's in the container. So the container already, that's what I'm busy with. What about if you need to grow the container, which means you, which means your desire, which means your passion? You have to raise your bar. You have to raise your expectation from yourself about happiness, about achieving a goal. You cannot just settle down with whatever you achieve. There is a moment for you where you have a big happy, as I say. Big, big, not small, large. Everything meant to be the biggest of the biggest for you. But if you're going to settle down with whatever you achieved so far, and you did well, remember, unfortunately, the desire, it's not a physical thing. Desire is in your mind. Try to imagine yourself going to a restaurant. It's a funny thing, right? You go in the restaurant, you're eating your food, you enjoy your food, and you don't even finish your plate, right? You can't take it. It was a lot of food. What happened with the waiters after you finish your food? What is it telling you? Do you want to see the dessert menu? I mean, is the waiter blind? Don't you see? I didn't even finish my food. Why he offered me a dessert? Because it's not a physical thing. Desire is not a physical thing. Desire is in something in your mind. All of a sudden you find the room for that dessert, huh? The chocolate mousse, right? The creme brulee. Where's the desire came from? You just say you satiate it. You fulfill. You don't have any room. All of a sudden, oops, wait a minute. That sweet things look good. I can eat the apple pie right now. No big deal. What happened? Where does that come from? Because desire is not a physical thing. Desire is something that comes from your mind, from your soul, that you have to drive it. You have to take the reins and say, hey, I can want more than what I want now. Unfortunately, sometimes people just be busy filling up the container, and once the container has been fulfilled, they say enough is enough. Your container that's been fulfilled is just the inner light, meaning it's just for the moment. You can grow into a bigger container after you fill up the first one. Or you can exchange the small container into a big one. That thing will not always feel right. For that reason, people don't like pressure. What does the pressure do to you? Pressure is telling you basically, grow. I want to give you more. Every time you feel pressure in your life, whatever the relationship, your health, or your money, that means there is some force out there. We can call it light, we can call it energy, whatever you want to call it. Some force out there want to give you more. Some force out there want to make you big happy. Some force out there want you to become famous. But because the pressure is tremendous, you go back to the old container. And the problem, when you go back to the old container and the container is already fulfilled, how much desire do you have when the container is fulfilled? Zero. Very good. You don't have desire. Desire can only come from a place of I don't have. You know, if you have, how can you drive your desire up? Exchange the small container into a big container. Once you do that, then you have empty. Once you have empty, you need to fill it up. Once you need to fill it up, desire go up. Once desire go up, here we go. Pressure begin, the inner light changing into surrounding light, pressure, 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 discomfort, and an unbelievable result. Once you fill up the next container, we're going forward and we're going back to another level of growing. That's what being happy and life is all about. Some people, unfortunately, only filling up small container, and that's what they stop the game. That's what makes a difference between people. When people are asking me, what's define humanity? What's define a person? I always say, I want to talk to them about the level of desire. When I know their level of desire, I know everything about them. People are different from each other, not because they're different, the different levels of desire. What are they willing to do to basically go to the next level of their desire and then fulfilling it? But remember, it's not an easy thing. It will not make you happy to walk around with a huge container but empty. Much easier to make sure you have a small container and fill it up and you are happy. But that, my friend, will take you to a place where you are comfortable, nothing needs to be done, you become lazy and you're not growing. And it's getting worse because once you're sitting with your little container fulfilled, you are actually exchange that small container into very mini nano container. Why? Because your drive of desire is crashing. When the drive of desire is crashing, what happens? You end up with a small container. So it's diminished. For that reason, people who quit their job, for example, I'm just giving you an example. As they're getting older, unfortunately, things start to fall apart, whatever it is, their body or something else, because there is no drive anymore. There is nothing that they drive for that they fill up that container. You want to be big happy? Okay? You want to get there? Make sure your desires keep growing, keep pushing all the time. All right, so as we working on our desires, so think about it. Now you're working on increasing the level of desire, increasing more pressure, connect to what we call surrounding light. The reason we call it surrounding light because it's pressure on the container to grow. It's pressure on the desire to keep growing. Go back in time for a second to the gold rush. Those of you who know the history of the United States. In the gold rush, everybody was searching for gold. But then when people start to have a desire to become rich and having gold, they become nasty toward each other. Nobody cared about the other person. Everybody tried to kill each other for finding another piece of gold. When you want to become more successful, more happy, sometimes you forget about your surrounding. You can't do so. You got to keep the balance in between, being spiritual, and in the same time, building your desire. There is other people around you. You cannot just ignore society. You cannot just ignore that there is other people. Be kind, be nice, because that's also growing. There is different kind of container. There's the container of happiness. There is the container of making sustenance. There is the container of being kinder. There is a lot of container. You cannot just focus on one container. Have some balance. If you achieve it in life with money, that's very nice. Good for you. Bravo. You did it. If you are happy, good for you too. Are you kind to people? No. That's container running on empty. You're not going to be happy all your life because you're missing something. So you got to define what type of container you want to fill up and with what and when and how much pressure you have on yourself to grow in that area. So look at your life as goals. Put some different goals into your life, like what type of container you want to have. Happiness, friendship, growing in different area so your life can be better in all area, not just one area. Because happiness, remember, happiness comes from being fulfilled. Happiness is a result. It's a great result of you finding yourself being fulfilled. But it cannot be just fulfilled in a certain selfish need that you want to fulfill. There's other things in life that are necessary. So don't kill people. Don't kill yourself on the way to get the goal. Yes, eventually you gotta get to the goal. Don't kill people, don't kill yourself. It's basically gradually you're getting it there, step by step. And make sure that you keep behaving as a nice human being, as a spiritual human being, and as a happy human being. Live rich and happy all the time as you're growing. Don't be miserable as you're growing and say, I deserve the gold, let me kill that competition around me. Remember that, because balance is quite important on your spiritual journey. I would like to challenge you on this session, as this session is quite important for your soul, for your being, for your well-being. And I want you to focus on what you want, okay? What you want, make a list of things that you want, but remember, make it like few containers. It cannot be just success, your personal success. It's got to be a global success. So make sure you write it down. And what I'm asking you to do is basically think about it every day. Every day, you gotta think about it. When the sunrise coming out, you sit with yourself, take yourself a few minutes and say, I'm thinking about it. Don't talk, don't do, just think about exactly what you want. The mind is a very magical machine. Once you let the mind think about something, the mind will navigate you subconsciously to the area where you need to be to fulfill that dream. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Vital Transformation's guided sessions. For more information, visit us at vitaltransformation.org, where you'll find access to all of our guided sessions, content library, weekly updates, and upcoming events. To keep content like this new, relevant, and free to the public, make a donation today at vitaltransformation.org/donate, or write to us at donate@vitaltransformation.org. Thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you soon.